Okay, so we have everything marked now with styles throughout the document, so we should be ready to try out our table of contents generator. As I said before, we will talk about whether to put a table of contents heading in here. The issue will be that if you put a table of contents in here as a heading 1 label, table of contents will appear as a line on your document's table of contents. If you do not put table of contents here, it will not appear. Now, the reason why you would put the table of contents on the table of contents of your document would be if there is matter before the table of contents that precedes the table of contents on the table of contents. Do you notice I really like saying table of contents? But seriously, if you look at larger works, any type of book that has prefatory material or front matter in it that precedes the table of contents will be listed. If, however, the table of contents happens to be the first material in the text, chances are that the table of contents might not be listed. And the reason is because if you're at the table of contents and that's the first material that you encounter, you probably do not need to know the page number of the table of contents. It's just, again, it's common sense, it's usability. So now this particular document has the table of contents right after the title page, but some of you may decide to put the executive summary right after the title page of your report if that is in fact what you're working on. And if it is indeed what you're working on, and you do put the executive summary right after the title page, then you pretty much have to put the table of contents on the table of contents. So this is a moot point. But this person has a choice. So to insert the auto-generated table of contents, what we need to do is go up and visit the References toolbar. And we'll visit this again when we look at inserting captions and our list of illustrations. But for now, what we'll do is we'll go all the way to the left up here, and you see we have a table of contents bar here, a whole box devoted to table of contents. And if we click on that and go to the pull down menu, we see that we have an automatic table of contents, and then we have a manual one that we can actually go in and make manually. And I would say that even if you don't use styles, this manual table would be a better option than trying to produce one yourself. If you try to produce one yourself, what you're going to find out is Word will not allow you to line up both edges in a straight manner. What will happen is your margins will not remain perfectly straight. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. And so it's a very frustrating experience. The other reason why you really want to do a table of contents is because any modification or last-minute revision, if you're doing the table of contents manually, could change all of the page numbers. Suppose you change something on page 2 which moves a paragraph on every page. Well, you can just imagine. So every section changes, and then you have visuals, and I mean it creates just a whole giant mess. And then you have to go through, and that is a terrible amount of work to do, especially at the last minute, and it is just asking for errors to be made. And so you really do not want to even take that kind of chance. And so this is really something that you need to figure out how to do. I hope I sold you on this. I think I have. Okay, so anyway, so basically let's do automatic table 1. And the difference is there isn't too much difference between the two. Actually, let's do automatic table 2 because it actually says table of contents versus just contents. And boom, it put it in there. Okay. And see how it put a table of contents in a table of contents. But if I take this off, and then if I click on this and I click on Update Table, see how it disappears? Okay. Okay, so I do want that table of contents in my table of contents. So what I'm going to do is just delete their table of contents here. I don't like that spacing in there, but it isn't allowing me to get rid of it too much. And so if you notice when I click on this, it says Update Table, and if I click on Update Table, it gives me the option to update page numbers only or update entire table. And so if I decide to update the page numbers only, what that means is that I can make changes in here and it won't update any of the changes I make. So I can actually, change around heading titles, or for instance, if I don't like this, all of this, like capitalization of the heading levels and stuff like that, I can change all that around to mixed case and it won't change any of that. It'll just update the page numbers. But if I click on entire table, it'll change it back to the way it is here. And that is the main difference there.